me feeling like I'm Akademiks.
You're going crazy. All right, anyway, yo, Melly was in court today. Remember the whole thing with Melly? Yo, Melly's girlfriend, remember she was arrested? There was a court hearing today because they dragged his girlfriend to... They dragged his girlfriend. Let me see. I think they're going to play it.
Case. He's a death penalty.
Here we go.
Imploring the court to find out what the nature of the conflict is so that we can advise our client. Right now, you're just saying to our client, hey, the state says there's a conflict, so you could get rid of your lawyer or keep your lawyer. That's not enough. That's not a Sixth Amendment protections. You want him to make a decision in a vacuum.
I think this is a lawyer for his girlfriend. Remember, his girlfriend was ducking testifying. Supposedly, this is the girl that Melly, after he clapped two of his friends, he called his girl and was basically asking for her to come pick him up type shit or whatever. And apparently, he had let his girl know that the friends were dead, right?
Vacuum.
They want to talk to her, but she's been dipping. She ain't want to talk to nobody.
This is a murder case.
Sir, with all due respect, this isn't a vacuum. He can sit down with Miss Liberty, and you can sit down with Miss Liberty. She's well aware who she's emailed. She's well aware who she's called. She's well aware what's on these records.
Damn, the judge and this guy getting into it.
So talk to your. It's incumbent on you all to fully inform your client. That's not my job. That's your job.
Well,
So tell him what's on there, and then tell him what the conflict is, and he makes a decision. I had this discussion with Mr. Devon. The conflict is, at some point in the proceedings, is Miss Liberty going to make a decision that's not in Mr. Demon's best interest, but it's in her best interest? Okay? You all know what you're doing. I'm not going to do your job. You have to do your job.
No job, Judge. With all due respect, I want you to do your job. And I don't believe the court is. I think the court is shirking its responsibility.
I disagree with you, sir, but you can file whatever appropriate written motion you want. I'll give you a hearing on it, and then you can seek appellate authority to a higher court if you think I've done something wrong.
Thank you.
Will the court at least inquire from the state if the investigation is still ongoing as we sit here today?
It is ongoing. They told you that the last time.
It's still,
You said that last time, yeah.
it's still ongoing.
It's still ongoing.
Yes.
Of course, they're still trying to lock up Melly. This is Melly and how he looks now. I think he cut his hair.
We wrapped up Melly's hearing. There was still one more thing.
Defense, let me, Mr. Adelstein or whoever else wants to answer this. At 1:30 this afternoon, I have to deal with Mariah Hamilton. I have some motions on her behalf, and so she's going to be present. I think your client's entitled to be present if he wants to be, but if he doesn't want...
So he says that he wants to be there. Remember, this is the girl that might be holding him down by not really cooperating. They finally caught her. They arrested her. You know, she was on vacation for the longest. Remember, the mom showed up, was being difficult. He hasn't seen this girl in a long time. Remember, Melly's also filed some motion appealing to a federal court saying, yo, I'm living in inhumane circumstances. I've been locked up now. It's since 2018, and now it's 2025. Yeah, he's been locked up since it's going on 7 years. Okay? So he's saying, yo, already one trial came back as a mistrial. Why don't I have bond or something? I don't get no phone calls, not get the proper food. You know, you got all these grilled, like platinum stuff in his mouth or diamond stuff. Apparently, he says he needs special doctors. He says he's also suffering from other conditions. But anyway, he gets a chance to see his ex, or I don't know if it's his current girl. And he says he wants to be at the hearing.
Want to be, he certainly doesn't have to be.
He wants to be present.
We'll all be here, Your Honor.
At 1:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yep, so Melly wanted to attend the hearing of his ex-girlfriend, Mariah Hamilton, after she was...
Yeah, I think he got arrested in... Hold on, let me see. When did YNW Melly get arrested? It's definitely 6 years, I think, right? No, never mind. My bad. He got arrested in February 2019, so it's 6 years. Oh, yeah. Oh, so actually this year makes 6 years. So it's not 7. My bad. So we're 1 year behind. He's 6 years. So February 2019.
Thrown into jail 2 weeks ago. Now, Mariah is very important to the prosecution's case.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Any chick with this type of lashes right here, you can't trust. That's a fact. I ain't gonna lie, man. If her chick lashes so thick you can't even see the white of her eye, trust me, bad news, y'all.
Case. In Melly's first trial, the prosecution said Mariah and Melly spoke on the phone after the murders of Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas Jr. But a bigger issue was that she didn't testify in his first trial. However, her mom did.
When you first took the stand, you said, "I feel threatened."
Yes, sir, I do.
Who do you feel threatened by?
Objection, Your Honor. Christine Bradley, the prosecutor's office.
This prosecutor.
Yes, I did.
Thank you.
So that was back in June of 2023. Fast forward to 2025, last month, Mariah was arrested for civil contempt after she left the country on a birthday trip. I spoke with her attorney, Chris Barris, who told me at the time there was a whole issue on whether or not there was a warrant out for her because she didn't testify in Melly's first trial.
We talked about the possibility that there might be a warrant in existence. The prosecutor had, indicated,
we watched this already.
Whether my
Attorney. But Barris had a very important question for the judge.
I have had some time to speak with Ms. Hamilton. The way I see it, Judge, there's only really one issue here today for the court to decide, and that is whether Ms. Hamilton was legally obligated to appear. The issue is not, whether Ms. Hamilton knew that the police or the prosecutors wanted to talk with her. And those are different issues. We're talking about legal obligation, not maybe a moral obligation or some other obligation. My answer to the question is no. She had no legal obligation to appear. Defense has evidence that she was not served. And I hope the court understands I was not Ms. Hamilton's attorney when I believe the former prosecutor filed a motion for an order to show cause. I wasn't the attorney back then, so I don't know the events that happened back then. I'm not even sure. I haven't seen a show cause order issued by the court.
I don't think there is.
Well, that's another problem, sir, I have.
I agree. I don't think she's ever been held in direct and indirect criminal contempt. She's in custody pursuant to 942.03, the procedure for securing a witness that may be coming from outside of the state.
Well, and I'm not sure. I did see that document. It's the most curious document I have ever seen. A witness coming from outside of the state? What? Again, there's a constitutional issue with that writ or warrant or whatever we call it.
By the way, this guy's just trying to figure out why she's locked up, right? Because they're saying there's no warrant for failure to appear. Remember, she was supposed to testify. They couldn't find her. The judge basically said, yeah, there's no warrant for that. But then they held her on something else. They said that she was a witness coming out of some weird stuff. She had went on, she just been going on trips back to back. And I'm guessing, Melly is funneling money to her. So she's just, girls trips, doing whatever she's doing. Just try to stay out of Florida, stay out of, and finally the cops got the ups on her and caught her either when she was leaving or when I think she was when she was coming back. And they nabbed her at the airport or when she was leaving the airport. So that's to show that she's a really important witness because they ain't trying to do this again without having her involved.
No notice, no opportunity to be heard. I don't have any facts that have been, I should say, the state has not presented me any facts that she was ever out of the state. So also, that document, if it is a proper writ or warrant, is stale. That document addresses a trial that happened in 2022, and I believe, I don't have it in front of me, I believe it orders that Ms. Hamilton be arrested and detained for no longer than 60 days during the period or the pendency of that trial back in 2022. So it's a stale warrant to begin with. I don't see any legal basis for her to have been arrested or to remain in custody. And in my initial motion, the emergency motion I filed, I did ask ultimately for an ROR. I don't think that's appropriate. I think the court must release her, no conditions. I mean, if the state feels that
this
she's
nigga talk too slow. Hold on, man.
material leave,
For crime punishable by death or life, put her on pretrial with an electronic monitor and I'll waive the cost of the monitor. The only thing that she has to do is if she's served either by the state or by the defense, by any party, she just has to answer the summons, just like anybody else. And the rules apply to her the same as everybody else. I agree. I don't think there's any legal basis to hold her in custody at this point, unless someone shows me something different. But I couldn't find anywhere in the court record where Judge Siegel or Judge Murphy or any judge found her indirect or direct criminal contempt. This was merely a question of non-cooperative material witness.
So good news for Mariah, she could get released.
And just to be clear, this was all taken up with all the documents that these motions are asking for. Her counsel, if it was previous counsel, they had all this because it's all in the appellate record, and you can pull it all up with the subpoenas and testimony by the state's investigator,
Or any kind of restriction on her.
Okay. So she's
That's the only restriction. I'm not putting any other restrictions on it. And then she's going to have to sign up with pretrial. They're going to have to verify her address, and then they're going to put her on an electronic monitor. That's the only restriction. I'm not putting any other restrictions on it because she's not charged with any independent crime. But if she's served with a subpoena, again, by any party, she just has to answer the subpoena, just like any other witness. What makes it unique here is that 902.15 allows this procedure only in a case that's punishable by life or the death penalty, and that happens to be the case that we're involved with here.
Oh, okay. So he just gave me the answer. So apparently, like, they could, if they have what they call a material witness, and the judge agrees to that, even though they didn't get a subpoena, they could hold the person, which is kind of crazy. But they said it's only in cases where there's a crime where it's punishable by death, so or life in prison, which obviously this is with Melly. So I think she's gonna get out.
Yes. So,
Her name is Mariah Hamilton.
Judge, does Ms. Hamilton, she's free then at this point?
Well, I think BSO has to process her out. Someone from pretrial is going to have to come talk to her. They get all of her information. They have to verify her address. Is it a house or an apartment?
A house.
Does someone else live there besides you?
Yes.
Someone that can verify the address there?
Yeah, I live with my dad.
Okay, so as soon as they talk to her dad and they verify the address, they're going to put the ankle monitor and she'll be released.
Okay.
Okay?
Damn, so they basically put an ankle monitor on. Okay, anyway. ASAP Rocky's trial. I think this is about nearing the end, man. I ain't gonna lie. I seen a video. This nigga ASAP Rocky was looking cool as the other side of the pillow, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. My boy looking fresh to death.